Hello and welcome to episode 79 of the Mouses Makes Knitting podcast. Now, this episode is a bit different to normal because I'm recording this on the 16th of December and you won't be seeing it until the 28th of December. So I'm recording today because I want to show you my Christmas gift knits. Tomorrow, a week ago Saturday for you guys, the 17th of December is our family Christmas get together and exchange presents. So I won't have them to show you once I've done that. So I thought I'm going to record this now. There are some that are unfinished. Those that are unfinished I will either put in photographs for you to see them now, or you'll see them next week on the first podcast of 2023. That's a bit frightening, isn't it? So, I think I'm going to start with showing the ones that I haven't yet finished. Yeah, just to mix it up a bit. Right. This first thing that I'm going to show you, there is no pattern for. I am crocheting a scarf for Ewan. And I haven't done very much at all as yet. So that's how much I've got done. The other side as well. I'm making it up as I go along. I think the stitch is called linen stitch, but don't quote me on that. Essentially, it's front post and back post crochet. And then on the next row, you do the other thing. So if you've got a front post, you do a back post to do it. And if you've got a back post, you front post it. Which is giving me this effect. Don't worry too much about the beginning and the ends. I'm leaving the ends. And then my plan is to put a fringe on it, a short fringe. As you know, if you've been around for a while, Ewan kind of lives in the 1940s. So what I had aimed for him was just a short scarf that would go over, and, you know, classics man's scarf, or he could maybe do that with it. Obviously it needs to be quite considerably wider than it currently is. And it will be by the time he has it, but that's as much as I've done so far. I'm using all Cascade Heritage yarn for it in black, wine and pumpkin. They are the colours of the company that he works for, and he jokingly said he wanted something made in company colours. So now he's getting one. That'll teach him to joke, won't it? That's the first thing that I'm making for Ewan. I'm also making him some socks. There isn't a great deal of them to show you yet either. I've kind of left Ewan for last because I hadn't made up my mind what I was going to make for him. And what I don't get finished for Christmas, he can have for his birthday, which is at the end of January. So I have a cunning plan. So I'm using this yarn, which typically you can't see terribly well. Some lovely colours in it. And this is Scapier's Our Tribe sock yarn. It's 70% merino, 30% polyamide. And the colour is 988 Generosity. And I thought that was perfect for Ewan because he is a very generous young man. Plus, he really seems to like these deep reds at the moment. So that was a good choice for him, I felt. I've only done this much. You can't really see what it is yet. What it's going to be is... Should have prepared a bit better, shouldn't I? I never learn. going to be a pair of these, which are the Twisted Staircase socks by Dana Ray Makes. Everything that's got a pattern I will link below. Not everything I'm making has or had a pattern, but I will link the pattern for these. She has some lovely sock designs. This is the first one of hers that I've knit, but I have got about 3 of them, and I'm actually knitting 2 pairs in this pattern. That's how much I like it. So I shall move on to the second pair. Where can I put things? I've got stuff everywhere. Right. I'm also knitting a pair for Ewan for Peter from the same pattern. These are Peter's. I'm afraid you can't see the pattern terribly well because I've chosen quite a dark yarn. This yarn is Drops Delight print. Again, it's a sock yarn in colour 1818. I really liked the colours. There's purple and dark blue and teal and kind of a coppery colour fading into beige. And if you've been around for quite a while, you will know that Peter had me knit him an entire pair of beige socks to give me something to do. What a thoughtful boy. Yes. So they are also clearly unfinished, but at the time of recording I have still got a week. Yeah. Because in this bag I have another unfinished item. These are for Dave. This is a free pattern. Let me show you the pattern first of all. This, as I say, is a free pattern. It's called the Porthos Socks, and it's by this person here. I'm not even going to try. Now, I've said it a couple of times, it's free pattern. However, I've had a little bit of difficulty with it. It's really nice, and if you're an experienced sock knitter, go for it. If you're not, I would probably say Kay Jones from the Bakery Bears has a very similar pattern out called the Rumple Socks. That's the design, and Kay's is almost exactly the same, but Kay has put different sizes, different stitch counts. If you've ever had a Kay Jones pattern, it's all worked out for you. That one is not free. That one is about £4.75, I think. I'm going to splash out for it because I've had to really adapt this pattern, which when you're trying to knit something quickly isn't ideal. So I will link this free pattern below, but I'll also link Kay's pattern. I'm knitting this in West Yorkshire Spinners. The red is cayenne pepper, which looks very orange on there. It's not that orange. And the main yarn is West Yorkshire Spinners Robin, which is one of the 2 West Yorkshire Spinners Christmas yarns that I had that I thought would suit Dave better than the Fairy Lights Sparkle. I think he might have refused to wear those. So yeah, I'm really loving the pattern, apart from the fact I was loving it right up until it came to time to do the heel, and then I've had to do maths. I don't like doing maths. Rather wishing I'd bought Kay's pattern. I'm gonna do that because I want to knit them again. I want a pair for myself, and I'm not messing about with maths anymore. Plus the stitch count, I would have to, oh, there's so much I'd have to do to it. So if you want a man's sock, it's fine. Just follow the instructions, you'll be fine. Yeah, I wasn't doing that, even though I want a man's sock. So I'm just going to shut up because, yeah, it's one of those do as I say, not as I do moments, isn't it, otherwise? So, that I think is everything that is unfinished. Everything else I have finished. The first of the cowls, there are 2 cowls. The first one is this. And this, I've decided to show you this next because it's another Kay Jones pattern. This is the Owl Cowl by Kay Jones. I've adapted it slightly in as much as I missed out. I think there should be 6 of these and I've only got 4 of the main colour. You can, of course, knit it with scraps and do each row a different colour, each stripe a different colour. I also, when I blocked it, I've blocked out one end slightly fluted, only a little bit, just to make it a top and a bottom. This is for a friend of ours who is the other church warden at our church. Dave is one, she is the other. And our church is freezing. It's freezing all the time. You might get one single Sunday in the summer where it feels deliciously cool rather than frozen, but the rest of the time it's like walking into a freezer. And of course, with the cost of living crisis, the heating's not going on even as much as it was before. So I wanted to make her something nice and warm. Last year I knitted her some fingerless gloves, and then she works all through the mass. She's singing in the choir, and she does the Zoom, so that people like me who can't actually go physically to the church can join in the service via Zoom. And so I got her a pair of fingerless gloves from Amazon that plug into her computer, and they're self-heating. It's a real problem, I tell you. So yeah, Owl Cowl by Kay Jones. Enjoyed it. I'm in the middle of knitting one for myself. It's in the shelf over there, which I try not to look at because it's full of projects that should be being finished, and it's bad enough that I'm trying to concentrate on these gift knits, and I am, at the point of recording, days behind with both my Advent knits. Yeah, I'm not even going to talk about that. That's for another day. So that's the first cowl. There is another cowl, which I think you might have seen before. This one is for my cousin. There is no pattern for this. I cast on 120 stitches and I joined it in the round, knitted a tube. When I got as long as I wanted, I grafted the 2 ends together. I'm trying to find where I grafted them. It was on this, there it is, it's there. You can possibly just make it out. I made sure that I split this yarn so that the join would be in it, because I thought it'd be less obvious in this variegated yarn. And also I didn't want it to be where the yarns started, where they changed over, in case it wasn't a complete row, which of course it wasn't on either beginning or end of the colour. So I thought that would disguise it the best, and it has done. I had to feel for it. So the yarns I used for this, I've got it all written down here. Oh, let me just... Paperclip didn't want to give it up. Stylecraft Batik double knitting in indigo, which is 1914. And was it that one? Yes, I think it was Hayfield Spirit, which is this striped yarn. That's Hayfield Spirit 0402, and the variegated is the Starcraft Batik. They have the same amount of or the same proportions of acrylic and wool. They're both 80% acrylic, 20% wool, so should be warm, should behave the same way in a wash, so I thought they went together quite well. So that's for my cousin, and I think it's just about long enough she can maybe get it round twice, but if not, the plan was that you sort of, let me demonstrate, I'm sure there'll be a ginger hair on it anyway, probably knitted into it, that she could do this. She's got a dog that she walks, and I thought it'd be nice for dog walks, keep her nice and warm. So I'm trying to do something with my hair. As I mentioned, we've got the family dinner tomorrow, and I was going to try and sort of blow dry it into a bob. It's not convinced. So that's 2 cowls, one of which I've dropped on the floor. Let's rescue that. Okay. Now we shall move on to hats. And I've realised, if I can get it, that I have a hat that is unfinished. Oh my goodness. This hat, everything is falling on the floor. I've not podcasted for a few weeks because at the time of recording I'm doing Vlogmas. So I'm doing lives on a Saturday instead of podcasting. And oh boy, does it show. Yes, I am knitting a Musselburgh for my brother. I will not be seeing my brother tomorrow. He lives far, far away. I've got a little way to go yet. I think I've got about another 5 inches to go before I can start decreasing, or it may be another 5 inches to go. No, it's not another 5 inches in total. Another 5 inches before I can start decreasing. I have to post it to him, and well, with the postal strikes at the moment, there is no way that he's going to get this in time for Christmas, which makes me very sad, but it does mean that I've stopped trying to get it finished in time to get it posted, because it's not getting to him anyway. This yarn, which is absolutely lovely to knit with, it's very, very soft, and it's quite a lightweight DK. This is Hayfield Soft Twist DK, and the colour is bronze. I don't know, that's pretty true to colour on my screen. Don't know how it's coming out on yours, but it is that colour. A bit like an old gold, well, bronze I suppose, isn't it? Yeah, this is the first time I've used this yarn, and I will use it again. It's really nice. This is again 90% acrylic this time and 10% wool. He's a bit follically challenged, so I'm hoping it will keep his head nice and warm. Hat still to be finished, but I do have 2 that are finished. This, yet another Musselburgh. This is for another cousin, and this one is knit in, not that, but Stylecraft Highland Heathers DK in 3752, which is moss. And again, that's coming out pretty well on my screen. It's greys, grey greens, and kind of a very muted gold colour. hoping that's the right one. I've just thought I've got another hat here and I don't know what I've knit that in. What are you knitting? Ah, the best laid plans. Yes, so this is another Musselburgh. It's a little bit short. I could have added in some extra at the end, but I didn't really want to. And I mean, it's double thickness anyway, so I think he can either wear it like a beanie. Allow me to demonstrate. Hats do not suit me, please don't laugh. So he can either wear it like this. His head is slightly bigger than mine. It should not rest on one's glasses in such an attractive manner, as I'm sure you know. So yeah, he can either wear it like this, or there is enough to turn it up and make like a watch cap. He's also a bit on the more skin than hair side. So whilst my hair is trying to push it off, I'm sure it'll be alright on his. It'll be like Velcro and hold it on, I suspect. Or he can pull it out, I like so. I shall probably demonstrate all this to him on Saturday night, i.e. tomorrow night. Tomorrow night when I'm recording this, this is very confusing. And ruin my hair no matter what I try and do with it. Or he can do this, where you push the inside of the cap not so far in, and then you put it on and you've got a slouchy hat. See? Voila! And now, having thoroughly ruined my hair and probably put a load of hair in this hat, I shall stop playing with it. I'm doubting myself now as to what this is actually knit with. Let me see if I've actually written it down in a note somewhere, because that would be really helpful, wouldn't it? And therefore probably not something I've done. Let me look. Aha! On the other side of the paper clip. On the other side of the piece of paper. Ignore what I said earlier, because you know I can't edit it out. This hat is knit in James C. Brett Stonewash DK in the shade SW9. Ignore what I previously said. So this is another Musselburgh. This hat is the one that's knit in Starcraft Highland Heathers in moss. Which, is that coming out okay? It looks a bit more brown on there than it is in real life. This is for my cousin's husband, Cowl cousin's husband. This started off life as a Musselburgh. So I cast on here and I was running out of wool, even more so than I was with this one. Because what I hadn't allowed for was the fact that there is less meterage on a DK ball of yarn than there is on a fingering weight one. So I got to where I was going to start the decreases early and it was just going to be way too short. So I pulled back like this, 9.5 inches, and then I just put in some ribbing, some 2x2 ribbing. And again, he can choose to wear this like a, not like that. Nobody wants to wear a hat like that. He can wear it like this, slouchy, or he can fold it back like a normal person would and pop it on so. That is still a bit slouchy on me, but it'll be fine. So 2 hats from the Musselburgh pattern, and this one I kind of knit 1.5 times. I actually rather like it. I like the Musselburgh because you don't have to swatch. You don't have to worry about what gauge you're getting. You just cast on and start knitting, and then the table tells you how many stitches you're going to need and what to do. I might knit myself one like this actually. I was going to knit a Musselburgh for myself. I've been going to do it for ages. I've got a ball. I'm off on a tangent. I swore I wasn't going to do this today. I've got a ball of yarn. It's Starcraft Life and it's a pink. So it's acrylic and wool mix. And it had been in one of my plastic crates and the sun had got to it and it's got a little faded patch. And I thought, well, I'll knit a Musselburgh and then that can go on the inside. No one will ever know. Might do that. Or I might knit it like this. That's all the hats. Now we're on to socks. First ones I'm going to show you, there is no pattern. These are a spiral sock knitted from the idea of socks that were knitted during the war for soldiers, because I'll show you the one that's not on a sock blocker. It's just a tube. It's just a spiral tube. The originals started from the cuff and were knit down, and then the toe was just done like a hat. You just ran your yarn through the stitches, pulled it tight, and you were done. And so they could wear them any way round. They fit any foot size. You just got a longer or shorter foot sock depending how big your foot was. So I took that idea and I knit a toe-up sock, starting with, oh, now what's it called? I can't remember what the cast on is. It wasn't a Turkish cast on, it's one where you do like a figure of 8. I've got a feeling it's called Jenny's something cast on. I'll try and find out and link that below as well, because there is no pattern for these, unfortunately. So these are for my aunt. My aunt and uncle have been asking me for years, do I knit bed socks? Because they know that I knit socks and they assume that they must be bed socks. So I have actually knitted her a pair of bed socks. And what I did with these is that I spiraled them in opposite directions so that I'm weird. Okay, we all know this. I don't try and hide it. I have to have socks that match. But in this case, if they'd have both spiraled the same way, like, no, I don't think I can make them do it. If they'd have both spiraled the same way and they were on my feet, I would feel odd. I would feel all sideways and peculiar. And I didn't want her to feel like that, although she is probably a neurologically normal person and it wouldn't have bothered her. But I thought, no, I'm going to spiral them in different directions so that when they're on, it makes more sense. I don't know if you followed that. If your brain works the way mine does, you probably followed it perfectly. If it doesn't, you're probably going, what? But yeah, so there is no pattern. I just did it out of my head. The yarn I used, I nearly forgot to tell you about. This is Cascade Heritage Snow. And I held it together with Drops Kid Silk Mohair. I can't remember the colourway, but it was just like a pale cream. And I don't know if you can see the halo. What am I doing? Oh yeah, you can sort of see it here. They are very soft and I think they're going to be very warm and cosy. So then I knit another pair of socks. These are for my uncle. My uncle likes yellow socks. I've knit him a pair before. This year I've knit him these socks. These are the Alpha sock by Tanis Laverley, Tanis Fibre Arts, and I think it's a free pattern. It will of course be linked below. I really like this pattern. This is the third time I've knit it. I haven't got enough blockers, and this blocker is on upside down. It should be that way, but I haven't got a man's size sock blocker, so I've had to put it on this way around. The first pair I knit were in black. I did show you those last year. That nearly broke me. I nearly gave up knitting forever. Then I knit myself a pair in some really lovely yarn, and they didn't fit, so they're Dave's now. And now I've knit this pair for my uncle. I still do not have a pair. These are knit in Cascade Heritage. Yes, Cascade Heritage Lemon. It is a sock yarn, but it is incredibly soft sock yarn, and so I'm hoping that he'll find these soft and warm and cozy as well. The final pair of socks. I've done a similar thing. So these are the Dunbrock socks by Kay Jones of the Bakery Bears, and they have this twisted stitch pattern up the side, and it's on the outside of each sock, so you've got a left sock and a right sock. This again is one of my favourite sock patterns, and I've knit these for my daughter-in-law Lauren. She's only got a size 3 foot. I love knitting her socks. These are knit in Cascade Heritage in, what's the colour? Smoked Pearl, which is 5735. Again, it's a pretty soft sock yarn before you start, but I held it together with this, which is, let me put this down so I've got two hands. This is Kid Mohair and Silk again, in the colourway Glass Slipper from Stranded Dye Works. And this was actually a gift to me from a lovely lady by the name of Patricia. And I wanted to use it for Lauren. It is beautiful. I don't know if you can see the colours. It's kind of mauves and pale blue. And when held together with the Cascade Heritage, which is this quite dark grey, it's produced this really pretty mauve and blue and grey fabric. So that's going to be linked below as well. The Cascade Heritage is merino and nylon. I've got a lot of projects in it, I'm sure you will have noticed, because it is so soft. I like it for shawls. I'm using it for my Slipstravaganza, which hasn't been touched since the end of November. Where does it say on the front there? Yeah, so the Cascade Heritage is 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon. However, these that are held together with mohair will be hand wash only, because the Kid Silk mohair is, yeah, not a super wash, let's put it that way. So when I give these to Lauren, they're going to come with a label that says please return to sender for washing, because I don't want them to accidentally end up in the tumble dryer and fit the cat. So that's all my gift knitting, I'm pretty sure. But I've also done some gift dyeing. I know. I can say this now because Christmas will have been gone by the time you see this, but some of my friends got some hand dyed yarn from me, And I also dyed up this one for I suppose she's my sister-in-law, my brother's girlfriend. It's my own hand dyed. I discovered that she was a crocheter, and I asked what her favourite colour was, and my brother said red. So I've done her a skein of red yarn. However, I wasn't sure, from the fact that my brother asked me how I get the dye inside the ball, I suspected that his girlfriend Liz, 2 seconds, no one in this house can stand a shut door. Amazon have delivered me a package. Right, yes, so bearing in mind he doesn't seem to have seen a hank or a skein of yarn, I suspect that she doesn't use them, so I have caked it up for her so it's ready to use, and I have called it Liz's Christmas Red. So no one else has got this particular colourway. It's specially for her. It's different entirely to Bad Santa. It's just a plain, very nearly solid red, slightly tonal, but yeah. So that is everything. That's everything I have made and making, whatever, for Christmas. He's woken Poppy up. He's woken you up, hasn't he? I know. Do you know what's in that package from Amazon? Knitting needles. Yes, I have ordered knitting needles because the 50 billion, sorry, I'm very cold. The 50 billion knitting needles that I already have will not be enough for the Stephen West Marathon, which I'm beginning on the 1st of January. Although, to be technical, I suppose I am beginning it on the 26th of December. Which leads me to talk about the knit-along. 1st of January till the 28th of February, there will be a Stephen West Starflake shawl knit-along. There will be a hashtag for you to use on Instagram, and there will be 2 threads on Ravelry for you to chat, and 1 for your finished objects. I haven't quite decided the hashtag yet. I've got to check, because obviously there will be Stephen West Starflake and various other things, hashtags going on, so I've got to sort out one that we don't end up with entries going into some other hashtag. That will all be up and running by the 1st of December. No, by the 1st of January. Oh, my poor brain. I'm really struggling with this kind of time warp nonsense where it's the 26th of December for me here today, but you will be watching this on the 28th of December or after. It's very confusing. So if you want to join in, she says, getting back on track, if you want to join in with that, we are casting on the 1st of January, and we will be finishing on the 28th of February, if not before. I have also been persuaded by the evil Caroline of the Aria Bark podcast and our cult leader Nancy, who is Kitty Scrapper. She has also leapt on board. We will also be making, if you feel like joining us, the Star Flanket, which is the Starflake shawl, but it is a blanket, so it's a big circular blanket. We are giving ourselves the whole of 2023 to get that done. So if that's something that you're interested in joining in with, I will let you know. In fact, I might have hashtags and I might have hashtags and threads for you already, and I might have given those to you tomorrow for me here today. Did that make any sense at all? On my live on the 17th of December or on the 24th of December, I may have already sorted out hashtags and threads. So if you want to join in with our Star Flanket knit along, as I say, that's going to be the whole year. because we've all of us got piles of other stuff. I personally am embarking on a Stephen West marathon that's going to last me all year. And it came up on, I can't remember if it was Zoom or a live, somebody said to me, that could be your Make 9. Because now the star flanket is added, there are 9 Stephen West projects that I'm intending to make in 2023. If I survive it. But yes, I have had to order needles because I don't have enough needles. For so many are tied up in other things, let's be honest here. So yes, that's my plans. Right, I'm desperately looking around like I always do because I didn't make any notes for this. Did it show? I think I've shown you everything I need to show you. I think I've told you everything that I meant to tell you. I'm going to say something that's going to feel very weird to me right now. I hope you've had a very lovely Christmas. I hope that it hasn't been too stressful and it hasn't been too miserable, and if Christmas is your thing, I hope it was wonderful for you. And I will see you next year. How weird is that? Right, so from me and Poppy, who's gone back to sleep because this is boring apparently, from the two of us, best wishes for the season. Whatever your particular midwinter celebration is, I hope it went well. And let's all have our fingers crossed that 2023 is going to be an absolutely fabulous year for everybody. Health, wealth and happiness to you all. Live long and prosper. And I'll see you next year. Bye.